So how many of you agree with my statement that last sessions are not good for speaking? Anybody who agrees with my idea that last sessions are not good for speaking in an event? Okay, so nobody. So how many agree that last session is good for speaking in an event? Oh, Mr. Banerjee. All right, so your endorsement is actually my encouragement to take this last session. Okay. So today, in the next 25, 30 minutes, I'm going to talk about the trends in the digital marketing or the latest trend in the digital marketing. I know most of the audience is from this branding and digital industry. So they very well understand that covering everything in 25 or 30 minutes is not possible. However, I have picked up the important trends that are going in the industry as per my experience working with international customers. So before we talk about trends, it is important that we understand that how these trends are made and how this all happens. So in order to understand that, we need to understand the change that are happening around us. What are the changes that are happening around us as an environment, external factors, internal factors? So when we talk about external factors, it changes very fast. So factors like mode of communication, mode of transportation, mode of doing business, mode of doing marketing, mode of everything is changing. The way we live, socialize, eat, drink, everything is changing fast. And these are the external factors. But as Mr. Banerjee was talking about the experience, the human nature and psychology and needs and wants doesn't change that faster. So we need to see that how technology and any technique can address those issues. So how these new trends emerge? The new trend emerge when external factors unlock the new way of serving these human needs and wants. So, for example, the best example I can quote here about this is the Facebook. If you look at the Facebook like button just 1 year ago or even before that, your friend has met an accident and posted his photos with a broken leg, and you are going and liking that. How is that? He has said, oh, I had met an accident, I've broken my leg, and look, friend, I can't come to office. And you are going and liking that. I like it, that you broke your leg. How fantastic. So the people like me, you, and other millions of audiences has been sending these messages to Facebook that, look, this is not something that as a human we interact. This is not something aligned with our sentiments. So based on their own research and these kind of messages and everything, they come up with this idea of having emojis. Facebook has introduced these emojis in this year, February 2016. And now you can actually respond to any content or any message in the way you want to respond to it. So if you really don't like something, if you feel sad about something, you can tell that. If you feel angry if you feel wow about something, if you love something or like, the difference. So this is how this technology and enabler and everything just change to respond to this human behavior. If you look at this change that is happening around us, and these are the pictures from the two same kind of events, one in 2005, and you can see that only one guy having a tiny mobile phone there. But how things have changed in 2013, there's an ocean of the devices and the screens and everything, it's full of it. So now you, as a marketer or as a technology person, we have to respond to these changes. And that's where the industry is going to respond to these changes. So before we talk about trends, we need to understand that how the purchasing behavior of the customer is changing, the complexity of making a decision, of making a purchase is changing. Without going into more nitty-gritty about the chart, just one thing that we need to understand that there are multiple touch points from where customers are going to experience your brand. I think Ms. Chen was telling about that she doesn't, or her, this automall, Sriram Automall doesn't like any digital, or they are adopting it as a hand-holding practice. I disagree to agree that, this is something that we need to understand that there are multiple touch points, and you never know when and from which touch point a customer is going to come, and then you never know what will be the first touch point and the last action on which channel or on which device. So multiple touch points, and there's another change in the attitude, and the change is about the research. So, Mr. Banerjee, when you booked this Fairmont Hotel to go to Singapore, you must have done some research, have read the reviews. We all do that, So if you look at this, data, 86% people do research before purchasing anything. Only 14% are those who don't do this. But out of 86%, the people, 82% people do this research online. Because if they are going to buy online, of course. So, and if you look at the touch point, you can see that people, I think one of our speakers was telling, from Policy Bazaar, he was telling that how people look at ad in the TV, respond on the mobile or desktop next in the office. This is very important to understand the complexity of a purchase behavior of a customer these days. So Smart Insights did a survey to 1,500 odd marketers around the world, and the most important digital marketing trends that they think will have a maximum commercial impact in 2016. I have just shortlisted 10 of 10, top 10 of them, and everybody has talked about the content marketing. That is obviously going to lead the way, followed by the marketing, automation, big data, and mobile marketing. This is nothing new. Everybody, all of us know that, But what is important that since morning we have been talking about how to build brands, what all we need to do. So the one thing that nobody as a marketer can deny the fact that the storytelling is perhaps one of the most important things that has been there, is there, and will be there. And in fact, in 2016, the power of storytelling is even going to be more with the addition of new tools and technology and the visual contents and everything, right? So the important thing about this storytelling is when you are last month we had a new customer in our company, and they are a content management system, CMS company. When we discussed with them, they said, look, we have this fantastic CMS, we have these properties, these things that the CMS does, So our team asked him, there are already hundreds of CMS there in the market. Why do we need another one? And to our surprise, there was no clear answer. Why do we need another one? We had a long exercise about that, and we finally came to a strategy that, look, not a me-too approach that we are also a CMS is going to work. If we are really going to click the CMS into the market, we need to have our own story, how it differentiates you from others. And what is one thing that customer will remember you as their experience about your CMS? And finally, we reached, okay, we will not talk 10 things. We will just talk one thing because that is one impression that we want to give to everybody, and that is one thing that we do best is the content personalization. Okay, so every strategy was around that thing. So as a brand, me-too approach, is going to take a sit back, and in 2016, we see the trends that will continue to have more compelling product stories and more short stories. People don't have time to listen to your long stories. Stories are good, but, they are best learned. I don't think if anybody has that much time to go through your blog article and 400, 500 words. So small, compelling short stories are the new trends. They will continue in 2016 and beyond. All right. The biggest fear on the internet today is the fear of identity. Everybody talks about identity. and data, privacy, and those sort of things. And now we don't know where we are heading to. Are we going to have to this identity crisis? Are we going to have what we are going to have as a tool that are being enabled to the marketers? Now, you can target people. The advertisement has reached to the new level of personalization. Internet know more about you than your colleague sitting next to you. And we have many stories, we have many case studies proving that Internet knows much more about you than your colleague, and in some cases, your family members as well. I'll tell one story later. So the targeting and personalization, personal marketing will reach to the new levels. It is already touching new levels. So if we have, email addresses of everybody participating or the mobile number of everybody participating in this event, Mr. Talis can possibly use this to give you a personalized message on the Facebook based on that. So the email ID, phone number, everything, this has reached to that level of, identity-based marketing. And this trend will continue in 2016 and beyond. And according to a study by Adobe, marketers see personalization, 35% marketers see personalization as the most important capability to the future of marketing. So now you see that how this is different from email marketing. You take their email IDs, you are able to deliver their message on their, Facebooks, on the Google AdWords networks, and everywhere else they go. You can follow them just based on their mobile number. And this is a capability that is coming to the marketers. So this trend is very, prominent in the 2016 and beyond. The next trend that we see is that there will be a rise into the social advertising budgets. The social advertising is already on the rise. There are more and more companies pumping money into this form of advertising. According to the eMarketer's prediction, they predict that by 2017, close to $36 billion will be spent onto the social advertising only, which will be 16% of all global digital ad spend. I think that's a very big percentage. So the companies need to start looking at that how they can possibly use the power of these, social advertising options available to them. So different means of remarketing, retargeting, and many other stuff. So it is important to understand a bit about that why there is a rise of social ads. Nobody is pumping money, and for the CEOs and for the head of sales, the metrics like impressions, clicks, likes, and all those doesn't matter anymore. They're not interested to listen how many followers you have, how many clicks you have, all this data is now bullshit. Actually, no meaning. And therefore, now these advertisers are introducing the new way of doing, or new way of giving you a better use of your marketing dollars. And what are those new things? Can you see this Shop Now button here out there? Can everybody see it? No? Can't see it. Okay, so there are many action-oriented ad formats that are coming now. So you just need not to invest your money into promoting your profile. You actually can spend money into doing something meaningful that has more value to your brand or your company. And what that value is, you can direct customer to shop online. A local business can direct customer to show the direction to their local shop. You can use this to install apps, to get the apps installed, to get the video views for your video and those sort of things. And then Facebook has also introduced this messenger for business. That is also a trend that we as a digital marketer are closely watching, whether it takes a right turn or wrong turn, left turn or right turn. We need to see that how the real-time messaging, the notifications, the real-time customer service, is that going to make any positive impact into the customer experience that brands are going to offer. And some of you might be, in fact, many of you might be aware that Facebook is also, testing their own search engine like Google. Are you aware of that? Yeah? Right. So Facebook is also, experimenting a new search engine. So how we see the future of marketing is search and social will not be separate things. The search from Google may shift to the Facebook and Twitter because they are going to have their own search engines. So it would mean that on Facebook, you will be like Googling, So, and the beauty of this would be that customer can take an action from then and there. If they search something and they add and they find what they were searching at, and a soft button comes from there, and they can go and buy from that. So that is shift and trend that we are also looking in the coming years. Okay. Well, Emil was telling that something about online marketing is something like Greece goddess or something, Emmanuel? Yeah? That gives me, that really, gives me a thought that you may agree or disagree, and without any, being any gender biased, I would say that offline marketing is more muscular and online marketing is more feminine in nature. Without going more elaboration on that, as Mr. Banerjee was also pointing out, that the gap between how these online and marketing and offline marketing are coming closer is shrinking. That is also a trend to watch. Nowadays, customer doesn't care about what medium it is, what device it is. They continue to consume the content without worrying about these factors. So the consumption of content is important. How you provide the content based on the channels and devices, that becomes important. Channel or what form of marketing it is really not important. So in coming years, more and more brands are going to not continue to work as digital silos anymore. They will bring more integrated team together, talking together. So rather than having one person working on the offline, another working on the BTL activities, another working on ATL activities, another working on digital marketing side of the things, we will see in an industry that there will be more collaboration and there will be more integration of these technologies and marketers coming together. So the campaign first and the medium second. That's the approach I think everybody is going to take, and they are already experimenting it. That let us decide what we want to do. Let us forget what the mediums we choose to deliver that. That will come later, because not every medium or every device or every channel is made for all form of customers. So that selection can be done at the later stage of the campaign when we progress. And creating an omni-channel experience, which means that you create a seamless experience without letting the customer understand that they have a different experience of online, they have different experience on mobile, they have different experience when they walk in your store or they see somewhere else. So creating this omni-channel experience is also something that brands are considering, and this is going to be more and more, data-driven. Well, there is no question now that should we have a mobile strategy or should we not have a mobile strategy. Everybody knows that we should have, that's already clear. However, last year, Google made it more official. Google Google last year released the data that mobile searches has already crossed the desktop searches. Now, Google, this is more important because Google combines tablets with the desktop. It keeps the handheld separately, So then it becomes more, if you combine the mobile and tablets, this data becomes even bigger, right? So it's official now. And therefore, there's no doubt about that we need to have, every business is going to adopt these, mobile dominance. And also, last year, Google introduced, in their algorithm, they said that any website that is mobile-friendly is going to get more weightage in their search rankings. And that's the time when we saw a lot of customers coming and rushing to get their website, mobile-friendly. They have an online tool. You can check whether yours is or not. And then start the debates, whether mobile-only, app-only, omni-channel, and these kind of things. We are fortunate to have one case study, very good case study in India about Myntra. Based on their highly paid data analytics team and a big, propaganda, they came to a conclusion that we should have app-only strategy. Well, there are merits of having app-only strategies. You can command your customer better, post notifications, understand their behavior, give more offers, and etc. Loyalty. However, there was a flaw, and they had to take a U-turn. We are aware of it. Okay, so app only is not the Indian market. App only is not the Indian market. Is not mature that enough that you are going to restrict them to these kind of platforms. And if you are going to do that, you are going to lose your customers. And that's what Myntra experienced, and that's why they had to roll back their app-only strategy. Now they have mobile website as well. Okay, so data-driven marketing has always been there. So in 2016, we will also see the surge into the personalized marketing, personalized data-driven marketing. This adoption is still very low into the business. If you look at the records, 71% companies fail to personalize their website. What is the meaning of personalize the website? If you have a web page which delivers different message to different people based on certain criteria, and that is personalization. 71% industry has still not adopted to the personalization. So there is a huge opportunity in that area that we look at going forward. And 70% companies don't personalize marketing emails, which is strange data, because at least people use the mail merge to do a basic level of personalization. But now there's a higher and greater level of personalization going on. While it is very clear that personalized marketing has got 29% higher open rate for your emails and 41% higher CTR, means click-through ratio. The people, after opening the email, clicking and going to your link. So data-driven marketing has to reach to the new level or low level or what level, I don't know. But this has reached to such a level that is going to beyond imagination. Well, you can personalize. I'm sure you must have got those personal messages and everything. Mr. Banerjee was based happy birthday based on his passport and date of birth. That might be real or may not be real as well. We have two birthdays generally. Okay, so I'll quote a very interesting story about one personalized data-driven marketing. And I think Ms. Chitra, talked about Target company, Target Corporation in the US. It's a very big name. This is a very famous story published by the New York Times. Some of you might have heard about it. So their data team and research and statistics team identified that when there are 25 products, when bought together, indicates that there's a possibility that the woman may be pregnant. That was just an accumulation of data and statistics and a judgment based on the data and trends. So what they did is they start sending these coupons, coupons of maternity bags, coupons of baby smiling photos and this and that, and all those items essential in that period to that girl. The girl was just 14 and in high school. So one day his father came to the store and asked manager, look, bloody, you are sending these coupons to my daughter and she's just in high school. Are you enticing her to get pregnant? I'll sue you. Manager apologized and everything. And then finally, after a few days, he called back and said, look, I was not aware of some activities going in the house, and I think you were right, and we came to know she is due in August. So can you imagine what kind of data tools and what kind of level of insight that data gives to you? However, I was in an IBM series. They told that there's a lot of insight probably available these days in probably almost all the big organizations. But the bigger problem is we do not have resources who translate this insight into action. We know that there's a lot of insight. We know there's a lot of data. But where are the people who can come and look at that data and tell us that these are the actions that you need to take? And that's what is a missing link. And this is a trend that we will see in 2016, that people will try to cover up that. That how we can translate a lot of data into actionable actions. So that's what the personalized marketing is going to be. And I don't know what next level it is going to touch. It is in your bedrooms already. Maybe it entered your bathroom next time, don't know. So now, the wearable technology. We are living in the world of we now. There's a new kind of data is being generated. It is still in the starting stage, but this data is going to be very valuable, especially for those healthcare companies. I think Mr. Sen Gupta was here, and he ran that, something like that. So what this data is doing, this is very beginning stage, but this is going to be a big thing in the coming years. Because I think health issues, I was talking to a doctor in Apollo, and they told that executives like you, 60% executives have deficiency of vitamin D. I got my checked, I was vitamin D deficient as well. And I got checked some of my friends and found that the doctor was actually right. So healthcare, living in this, in this era, in this country, and in this kind of circumstances, we are going to see that healthcare to grow in faster, and the integration of healthcare and technology and the digital is going to bring a new form of data that is going to, give a lot of insight to the marketer. So the Apple has already launched the first generation smartwatch, and when you wear it, it captures a lot of data. And Apple, in collaboration with Nike, they have also launched a app, HealthKit app, and there are many apps like this. You can see, I think there are now already hundreds and thousands of apps in the healthcare sector. So what they are doing is they are now taking data of your movements, your habits, your, everything possibly. So that data is also going to be, generated. Currently, as per the Business Insider data I got, that this market is growing very fast at the rate of 35% per year, and it will continue to grow with the 35% per year with to the next 5 years. So last year there were around 33 million handheld devices, sold, and by 2019 we will have around 148 million units shipped per year. So we can imagine that this is a wave that is in making right now. I have signals that I need to finish this quickly, I think I'm anyway done. And the last trend I would like to talk about, everybody knows this. If you have seen the TV yesterday, Mr. Suresh Prabhu, our railway minister, was on the TV, and they have launched a Twitter helpline for the railways. And but I thought I should share a personal experience of mine, that how the customer service will reach to the new level. I'm sure you might have experienced this as well. I had one of my relatives admitted in Apollo Hospital, and I was not happy with their procedures of billing and everything, and I found that it was incorrect by around 40,000, which is possible when you have a bill of around 10 lakhs. So, okay, when I was there, unfortunately, I did not have a very good customer experience when I was in-house. But yeah, when I came out and in the night when I tweeted on 11th May, that billing procedure, that is my handle, Ratnesh D, and this is Apollo's Twitter handle, Hospitals Apollo. When I tweet that billing procedure needs huge improvement, especially room rents, to and fro, ICU versus ward transfers. Mine was incorrect by 40,000. The next day, even I did not reach office. At 9 a.m. in the morning, I had this message from them that kindly share your email ID and phone number and the location of the hospital. Our team will get in touch with you to understand the issue. And I actually did that. I did that, and they were prompt enough to come back to me and resolve my issue. So this is just one example. I think now I use customer care more through the social mediums than actually calling and waiting around half an hour on their IBR system. Who is going to wait? If you call Airtel for any, my colleague Harshit is trying to change his plan from Idea to Airtel. Last one month has already gone into doing this document, that document, being on IBR system for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. But next time, I think we need to try this. So this is a new trend that social customer service is going to take. I think somebody in the morning was talking about that how Best Buy is using these triples to address the customer concerns. I was lucky enough to work with Best Buy in 2002, and we worked on their learning portal. And that time, their chat system, which was unfortunately developed by our company, had issues, and we used to get around 600 to 700 emails per day in their customer support. So I can very well understand that at that time in 2002, if we were getting 600 to 700 emails in the customer support, it is very, very understandable that in today's day, they might be getting 1,000 or 2,000 tweets through their social customer portal. So I think these are the trends that digital industry is heading to in this year and in the coming years. So we will keep on watching. These are not the exhaustive trends, as I said. There are many more trends, video marketing, this and that, but it is not possible to cover everything in 30, 35 minutes. I think this is very interesting trends to know about. I really thank you very much for being patient enough to listen to me, even at the end of this day. It is Saturday and Saturday afternoon, which can make it more even complex. So thank you so much. I will now take questions for 5 minutes, and then we can conclude this. Thank you very much.